Welcome to MSP Voice, the weekly show for MSPs by MSPs. Brought to you by Cloudberry, the #1 cross-platform cloud backup. Learn more at cloudberrylab.com. This is MSP Voice. Hello and welcome to MSP Voice. This is episode number 47. Today I am joined in the interview by Craig Pollack out of Los Angeles area. Craig runs FPA Technology Services there. They're a boutique vendor. Lots of really cool stuff that Craig talks about. You know, they've been doing it for 28 years now, so definitely take a listen to the interview. Some housekeeping items, mspvoice.com, your source for all things MSP Voice. I've got information out there about our webinar series that I've posted. We've got one from Ulistic, the recording, as well as recording from Virtus Law. We'll have one from Netgear up later this week. So a lot of good stuff coming with the vendor interviews and those types of things with the webinars. Also, I want to make sure to get your feedback. mspvoice.com, we're doing a survey. So there's a link in the show notes. It's also on mspvoice.com. Scroll down, you'll find it. Fill it out and you could win one of $500 Amazon gift cards. So definitely take part in the survey and let us know how we're doing. We are coming up on our 1-year anniversary next week. So we want to do the survey to get some feedback, maybe make some changes in the new year, but definitely let us know how we're doing. All right, some MSP news this week. First off, we have Office Depot. They're doing some layoffs. So their CompuCom division has not performed, or poor performance is what they have said. So they're going to be doing some restructuring. Their CEO said that their first quarter results were disappointing, driven primarily by poor performance at our CompuCom division. We've talked about Office Depot and CompuCom and them delivering nationwide MSP for a while. It's been a subject many times on here. But it's something to always take into consideration. That there are companies out there that are looking to do this nationwide, and it might be in your backyard and trying to take away some of your business. So if you have any stories where either you've won or you've lost against Office Depot, definitely write in, let us know. Would love to cover it. Hopefully it's more success than failure on that note. Next up is a bit of a twist. This story, I was originally going to cover it as just an outage that affected ConnectWise customers in Europe on May 3rd, but late today, I actually got breaking news that it was actually ransomware or malware that took out the ConnectWise, took out some services in ConnectWise's EU cloud. So in Europe, ConnectWise customers were unable to access the service for pretty much the entire day on Friday, May 3rd. Now, they were able to recover from a backup. It does mean that they lost some data from when the backup was taken to when they were able to get it restored. So there's that, but it does appear that everything is back up and running. Effective systems are okay, and they are offering a credit to customers who were affected. So initially the original story didn't talk about malware or ransomware. They've since revised that and let everyone know. So just something to keep in mind. I think ConnectWise did an amazing job this time. Like I said, it doesn't appear that any customer data was compromised. They were able to catch it. They were able to use their backup to get things back online. Cause a day of disruption, which that's terrible, but at least no customer data was taken, and it doesn't appear that any ransoms were paid. Which, coming up to our next story, is another ransomware story about a cloud service provider, Cloud Jumper, that was affected. It was actually a company that they had acquired had gotten attacked by this RYUK ransomware. Now, this is another actually happy ending, good story. Cloud Jumper was able to identify the issue, isolate the systems. They said it affected less than 1% of their MSP customers. No data was lost or stolen, and no ransom was paid. So, I bring these stories up because, as MSPs, you're constantly going to be under attack, and you always need to be vigilant. Make sure your systems are patched. Make sure your vendors' systems are patched, and then and also make sure your customers are protected, because the crooks are out there looking to extort ransoms from as many people as they can, and MSPs are a very rich target for that. So check out these articles. Links are in the show notes on mspvoice.com. Next up, I've got the interview with Craig Pollack. Again, great interview. And next week, we have a special episode for our 1-year anniversary, so be sure to tune in for that. And with that, have a great week, everyone. Hello and welcome. Today, I am joined by Craig Pollack with FPA out of the greater Los Angeles area, LA County, I believe. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Awesome.
Thank
Craig,
you.
why don't you tell us a little bit about FPA, what you guys do, and how you do it?
Great. All right. So we've been in business, FPA Technology Services. We've been in business since 1991. So wow. I've been doing this quite a while, 28
yes.
years. When we started, I founded it with my partner and myself. I've since bought him out. But when we started as basically software development and accounting system implementations.
Okay.
So we started on the software side. My background, I have a degree in computer science. I started as a developer. We used to like to say our elevator speech was we did 3 things. We did accounting system implementation, custom programming, infrastructure support, right?
Okay.
So basically the software and the hardware, everything related to running your IT. Over the years, we've kind of morphed and basically jettison accounting system implementation, custom programming, web development, and pretty much focus on implementation services, managed services.
Okay.
Are we a true MSP? I don't know. Is anybody a true MSP these days? We derive probably about 70%, 75% of our revenue from monthly recurring revenue. So definitely a big chunk of our revenue is recurring revenue.
Okay.
But still do some project work and outside the scope. But pretty much 100% of our clients are on some sort of recurring plan. We really don't take on any new clients that are managed services.
That's the way most are nowadays. They've gotten out of break fix. It doesn't sound like you really started in break fix, but most of them have gotten out of break fix and do the contracts, but some projects here and there. So
right. So that's my point about, is anybody a true 100% MSP? Right.
Yeah.
There's always some mix there. We have about 25 staff. We're very, very service focused. Out of the 25 staff, I do I don't want to say 100% of the selling because I just hired a salesperson, but pretty much I'm sales and marketing. Yep. So we're very, very service focused. We're very much about the client relationship. We're very much, if you notice, I use the word client, not customer. That's a really big sort of delineation for us. We really believe in the relationship. We have tons of long-term relationships. We've got relationships with our clients that we have doors with 28 years ago that we still have. So for us, it's really about the relationship. It's really about, truly being a trusted advisor. We kind of position ourselves as a boutique IT services firm. Hopefully nobody will steal this, but our tagline that we like to say is we're a Nordstrom in a sea of Walmarts.
Okay. It makes sense to me.
There's just a ton of business, ton of people. We probably have 200-300 competitors out there.
Wow.
So it's a very busy market.
I've been out Southern California for a couple of events over the last couple of months, and great audience out there for us. When we go to these events, it's always really good attendance. But and I've talked to some folks, that say, there's a lot of opportunity, but there's also a lot of competition. And how do you guys find that from a competitive standpoint out there?
There's definitely a lot of competition. So I think the thing is that as we're trying to position ourselves as more of a higher end boutique handholdy So the difficult part is finding the right sort of clients that fit that mold, right? It's clients who view IT not so much as a cost center, but a way to leverage technology to improve their businesses, right? And really increase profitability.
Yeah.
You know, it's finding those owners that kind of look at IT similar to, you know, again, like a Nordstrom versus a Walmart. It's does the owner drive a Mercedes or does the owner drive a Hyundai, right? I mean, either one will get you there, but one gets you there with a little bit different experience, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're looking to bring is an enterprise level service to the small to mid-sized businesses.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed on your website that you say do more work for fewer clients, not a little bit of work for a lot of clients, and form a partnership with the clients. You know, that's part of your credo, which I found interesting because most people would be like, hey, I want to work with everybody I can. That's the Walmart approach.
I think that's something. Yeah, I mean that's exactly. It's a shotgun approach. It's something that you learn over time, right? I mean, the stronger you get, the easier it is to say no, right? You become, you know, as much as everybody says you need to focus, you need to focus, you need to focus. It takes a while to hear that message until you finally go, yeah, I get it. Okay, you know, the money's money, but sometimes, you know, right? It's the hidden costs that kill you.
Yeah,
and those are lessons that you have to learn the hard way.
Okay. Now, do you guys focus on any particular verticals? You know, I know that's what a lot of MSPs are out there kind of saying, hey, we only do dental or we only do this or X, Y, or Z. Do you guys find yourselves doing that?
Yeah, actually, we have 3 verticals that I think are our core focus. You know, you could bolt on 4 or 5, but registered investment advisors, private money managers, so they're registered with the SEC. So obviously tons of compliance issues. CPAs and business management firms. There's, you know, again, in LA, there's a ton of business management firms running tax and whatnot. The third one's manufacturers and distributors, and that's kind of as a leftover from our ERP days. So we did a lot of ERP work with manufacturers, distributors. So we got really good at those 3 verticals. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Yeah, because you know, sometimes I've heard of even, you know, trying to get even more narrow and things like that, especially in a competitive market. But you know, it sounds like you guys have found your great skill set and quality set, and you're finding the right clients to you know, for your services. So, you know, the Nordstrom approach, so to speak.
Right. Well, I think also, you know, you have to look at all businesses, you know, over the life cycle of that business, right, or the lifetime of that business. And so, since we had been in business for so long and had gotten to a certain size during the whole time and materials life cycle of the business, right? Because we started doing managed services probably in about 2009, right? So almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're small, it's real easy to shift. When you're bigger, it's harder and it takes more time, right? It's like the analogy I use is it's, you know, you're working on the airplane while it's in flight, right? You got to keep the business moving forward. So you can't just go, oh, we're just going to focus on these verticals and jettison everybody else. Well, you know, when you have 20, 25 people, that would be a big, you know, organizational change that you have to deal with. So, you know, you slowly start chipping away and slowly start moving in these different areas. So over the years, our expertise has grown in these different areas, but also allowed us to focus. Like you said, do more for less. You know, it's interesting because a company of our size with 25 staff, we have about 60, 65 active clients.
Okay.
And so, you know, often I'll come to HTG or IT Nation or DattoCon or wherever we go, right, and talk to other businesses in other areas. And usually companies have a lot more clients for the size that we're at, right? It's usually a couple hundred. It's just for us, again, if we can focus and do really good work for a smaller client base, it just allows us to be a lot deeper in there.
Okay. Now, are you looking to grow beyond, you know, because like you said, you got 25 folks now, which is pretty good size for most of the MSPs, you know, throughout the U.S. Are you looking to kind of, continue to grow that and get up to 30, 40, 50 folks in the future?
That's the goal. That's the goal. Right now, our efforts and our focus is to do that organically. I mean, we'd love to do some M&A and buy up some other companies, but I think our goal is to solve the sales problem, our sales issue, and really grow organically. And once we have that, then it's to bolt on. So yeah, definitely our goal is to get to 30, 40, 50, and enjoy the ride doing that.
Yeah. No, you mentioned earlier that you just brought on your first salesperson and that you had been doing all the sales before that. Now, had you ever tried to hire salespeople before, or is this your first foray into this?
No, we've tried in the past, unsuccessfully. I think it's a very long-term play, right? And because we're all about the relationship and all about the trust. No different than everybody else, but the reality is we're not making it up in volume. So we really have to get pretty deep in the relationship development to make the sales process happen. So that means having a pretty long-term investment with getting a salesperson up to speed. And I think that for us, the magic is about our story and being able to communicate that. And that's a difficult thing for somebody who's not, I don't want to say not the owner, but somebody who hasn't lived through a lot of those stories. It's kind of hard. Yeah,
there's a little bit more credibility coming from you, when you're out there in the sales, because you're you're the guy, you're the owner. So having someone else come in and try to tell that same story can sometimes be a little difficult, but if they can get the process started and just bring you in for part of it, so they can meet you but yet still handle the rest of the sales cycle. I'm assuming that's probably how you'd like to get it to eventually.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think right now we spent a lot of time the last couple of years really getting our service delivery dialed in. And so we're kind of at the point that over the last couple of years, we've invested a lot in marketing and getting, really sort of the lead gen portion going. And so it feels like a long time, but at the same time, it feels like we've gotten the right, taken the right steps and gotten the right ducks in a row, per se, to be at the place where now we can be successful with our sales approach.
So about those marketing efforts and advertising and, lead generation, any, tips that you have? I mean, anything that you found that works really well for you without giving away any secret sauce to one of your competitors out there?
Well, what I've come to learn is you kind of have to do everything, right? It's like there is no magic bullet. So referrals are really big. So you got to be really integrated with your clients and the relationships and developing those, what we'd like to say is developing raving fans. But at the same time, we do a lot of stuff with inbound marketing. So, from our website's built on HubSpot. We do a lot of inbound recurring emails, workflows, social marketing. So there's a lot of having our presence out in the marketplace. Again, it's, the difficulty is selling what's different or unique about us versus everybody else, because everybody, I mean, we all have the same story. You go to our websites, we all say the same thing. So, how do we really communicate the difference? And I think, again, maybe with giving away a little bit of the secret sauce is, if you go to our website, you'll see us, right? You won't see you don't see any canned pictures. We don't have any stock photography. It's all us. So the point being, let's try to communicate what the experience is going to be like. What are you going to get? Who are you going to talk to? This is us. So really trying to make it real, as opposed to, especially when you're smaller, you're trying to give off a bigger air. So you have a lot of stock photos of these different people. Personally, even if you're small, I'd rather see who you are, because that's going to build a trust factor immediately. And I think that's the big thing. It's, how do you gain people's trust? Right. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Because, you're asking them to spend a lot of money. on a recurring basis, and they need to be able to trust you to know that you're going to be a good partner for them to move forward with.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, thinking about, your journey in this services, how you started off with, some of that accounting software, and now you're kind of, in the, we'll call it managed services.
Right.
What advice do you have for someone who's out there just getting started, who, maybe your next competitor out there? Any advice?
Right. Any advice? The one thing that I wished I had done, because I was always about service delivery and always about the quality of the service, and not that we shouldn't be. Obviously, that's the bread and butter, right? That's just, right. That's just to be in the game is you got to be able to deliver. I wish I had focused on sales and marketing way more, way earlier.
Okay.
That would be my thing. It's I don't want to say it's easy to grow, but it's easy to grow to a certain size without sales and marketing.
Yeah.
But you're going to get stuck. It's going to be a continuous thing that you get stuck, and it's going to take a lot longer. I think if you can really get the sales and marketing dialed in, and there's lots of companies out there now that'll help you get over that.
Yep.
And a lot of it is not that anybody does anything differently, right, between all these different companies that help you on the sales and marketing side. I'd say the big thing is partnering with somebody to hold you accountable, right? The big thing is just getting it done.
Yeah.
Doing it, right? That's the big thing. So that would be my one piece of advice is sales and marketing sooner. Yeah.
Cool. You mentioned a couple of things about going to events and some peer groups. What from a community perspective of other MSPs, what where do you participate?
Right.
Or what do you recommend people participate in?
Right. I mean, I'd say the biggest one right now, and actually, I'm prepping right now for my meeting next week, is HTG.
Okay.
Which I guess now it's called ConnectWise, IT Nation Evolve.
I don't
still
remember.
Trying to deal with all the IT Nation names. I don't know which is which, but still call it HTG.
Yeah.
So I used to be a member of Vistage. I don't know if you're familiar with Vistage.
I haven't heard of them.
It used to be called Tech, and it was Vistage, but it's a business owners group. It's a local group, sort of similar to HTG, but it's all different types of businesses and all different sizes of businesses.
Yeah.
So it's really good in terms of developing you as a CEO and a leader, but HTG is specific to our industry. Yeah. Exactly what we do. The SLI incorporated, the component of the SLI service leadership, and the KPIs and metricizing your business and comparing your business from a financial footprint against everybody else's. I think that's priceless. Like anybody of any decent size who can do it, I would say do it in a heartbeat. It's great. Obviously you got to partner up with the right group and get lucky with the right group. And I have a great group and a great group of guys, but no question, HTG would be my number one recommendation.
Okay. Yeah. And I know, there's, peer groups out there, for MSPs, there's a bunch of them out there. And
there are.
I've talked to several, and that's one thing I like about this industry is, people are willing to share, and, the idea of the peer group is, you may or may not compete. Hopefully, you're not paired up with other companies you're competing with directly, but, there's no reason why you can't share what you're doing in Los Angeles with somebody in New York or Chicago or some other, large market such as yourselves.
Right. No, it's been great. And not only from, personally, not only from the getting, but from the giving, right? It's like, it's really encouraging, for people to go, oh, how do you do that? Oh, that sounds great. Can I get a copy of that? Can we do this? Can we work together? It's great. It's a real opportunity to share, not just, receive. So it's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Let's switch to technology here for a minute, because we're technologists. In a way, we're not doing sales and marketing.
Right.
So thinking about technologies, whether it's what you do for work or consumer tech, what technologies are you most excited about, whether it's something here now or something on the horizon?
That I'm most excited about. Wow. You know, kind of caught me off guard there.
Oh.
You know, I do like the way that the community and the tools have come together of late in terms of ConnectWise, BrightGauge, MSP CFO. You know, I could name a couple others, but I'm kind of blanking on them. But the concept of, you know, Cognizant, we're kind of looking at. There's a couple other where we can really start slicing and dicing. You know, I'm just a big metrics guy and a big KPIs guy, and being able to slice and dice information about your clients, about your configs, about your staff, just, you know, how to really run this business as efficiently and effectively as possible. From a number standpoint, is really exciting. I feel like we're just kind of starting. You know, we've been gathering data for years and years and years, and now we're to the point where, you know, we've got AI and BI and a lot of other capabilities to really slice and dice this data and take our business to the next level using it. So I think that's pretty cool. You know, the thing is it's interesting because I think we live in such an interesting time, right? People forget about where we've come from, and, you know, I mean, forgetting about the politics and everything else about how crazy it is. But I mean, just from a technology standpoint, when we sit here and talk about our iPhones and what it can do, and the power there, and just how much it's changed our lives, and how our businesses need to change to integrate, you know, away from the desktop to more of this distributed technology across so many different devices. You know, and half the battle is technology is changing so fast, and for us in the industry who get it, not a problem. We deal with it, right? It's just a natural thing, no big deal. But our clients, everything's a black box. Everything is, why don't my networks just work like this? Why can't I just do an upgrade and everything just works? Why can't I just set up my server myself? So I think the big issue over the next X number of years is, how do we educate our clients and our client base to really understand technology and have the right perspective around it, just so that they can be more, you know, successful with it, with us. Right? I think that's a big thing that we're going to have to go through.
Yeah, and you know, even, you know, people talk about millennials, you know, that they embrace technology. They do to a point, but when it comes, you know, I think sometimes when it comes to how does it all work, how's it all connected on the back end, you know, that's kind of where it falls apart sometimes. And then I also know for the older generations, they just don't necessarily understand anything sometimes. So, you know, it can be difficult trying to, you know, explain things. To say, you know, well, you should do it this way, not that way. And it's like, well, why? You know, it's like, well, that's because how it works. And, you know, it can be hard sometimes with all these changes.
Right. Yeah. It's, you know, why do we need to upgrade? We just did it last year. Well, no, actually that was 8 years ago, and you're running 2003, and that's a 16-year-old operating system, but right. But it works. Why do I need to change it? But, you know, let's have a deeper conversation.
Okay. Are you ready for our rapid fire round?
Throw them at me. Sure.
Okay. These are quick, easy.
Okay.
6 of them. So first up, Apple or Android?
Oh, Apple.
Okay. Mac, Linux, or Win? Huh?
Painfully, but okay.
Oh, well. Next up, Mac, Linux, or Windows?
Windows.
Okay. Cloud services, Amazon, Azure, Google, someone else?
Either Azure or someone else.
Okay.
Private label, white label. Yeah.
Okay. Backups, local, cloud, or both?
Both. No question.
Okay. Virtualization, should you always virtualize?
Yes.
Okay.
It's an easy answer, but it depends.
Yeah. Then finally, which is worse, printer support or vendor cold calls?
Ooh. Well, I don't do printer support, so I have to say vendor cold call.
Okay. Well, a lot of
That
people are
would
like,
be
I can
clean.
hang up on a vendor. I can't hang up on the printer, but no.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, your days of printer support are probably long past. So,
Yeah.
so this has been great, Craig. I really appreciate you coming on and being with us. Before we leave, any final words you want to leave to our audience out there?
Any final word? The only final words that I would say is, one of my pet peeves, one of our pet peeves here is the word customer.
Okay.
So what I would say is, please, 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 as an industry, let's start calling our clients clients.
Oh.
The reason being, customers are stuff we sell stuff to. Clients are people we have relationships with.
Yeah.
Right? If we want to be seen as a professional firm, then we work with clients. So
that's what
that
makes perfect sense. All right. So.
Yeah. Cool.
We'll put the no on the customer, yes on the clients.
There we go. Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate
Craig,
the soundboard.
Yes. Thanks for coming on again, and I hope to maybe meet you one of these days at one of these conferences.
Yeah, definitely in person. It'll be great.
All right. Well,
Thanks for
a lot.
having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.